is the Big O Show.
All righty, there he is. The man that is got the Chase Edmonds fan club going. I think he established it already. He's ready to go. How you doing, first of all, my friend? You doing all right?
Oh, man, this is what I was praying for last night. I said, get these out the way right now, like right off the bat. When 12 o'clock, when that bell rings, I want to see 3-4 signings. I want a couple texts on my phone. Like, I want to get this done now. I hate when free agency lingers. They got the big one out the way 10 minutes before tampering began. They got the second biggest one out the way about 5 minutes after 12. From a reporter standpoint, man, I'm thrilled, man. This is about as good as it could have been.
Well, first of all, talk to us about Chase Edmonds. You sent me a text that you're a big fan, and I'm with you on this. I like him as a fantasy player. He's one of those guys I always wondered, like, he's like the Rodney Dangerfield of the backfield, like never really got enough respect. And I really feel he fits this scheme really, really well. So tell me what you like about the Chase Edmonds signing.
It's a guy who can do a lot of different things with the football in his hands. They need two things because, obviously Miami was 30th in the league in rushing last year, but they have a top 10 run blocking unit in terms of just run block win rate. Whether, you want to put much credence to it or not, it was more of a running back issue than an offensive line issue in terms of run blocking, not pass protection, in terms of run blocking. So they needed a running back right off the gate. And then they need playmakers, man. There's a reason why they're willing to pay Gesicki on the franchise tag. But beyond him, beyond Jalen Waddle, there are not a lot of guys, not any guys on this offense who could do something after the catch. So Chase Edmonds right now checks off two boxes as a runner and as a playmaker. 5.1 yards per carry last year. He's a guy 25 years old, basically no tread on his tires, man. 333 career carries. He's never been used as a feature back, but that's wonderful because Mike McDaniel offenses don't need a feature back. Like the days of the 300 carry, 400 carry, Larry Johnson in Kansas City. That's
those are done. Yeah, that's only in Tennessee is the only place where they still have a resemblance of that. And of course, if I have Derrick Henry, why wouldn't I want to run your ass over? You know what I'm saying? That makes sense there.
Yeah, it's not if you don't have Derrick Henry, if you don't have Jonathan Taylor, and even Taylor to an extent.
I'm not comfortable with Taylor being that guy. I know he's been awesome, but I wouldn't want to be a bell cow with Taylor. He had his share of injuries also, so it's one of those things you gotta be concerned about with him. Derrick Henry's just a freak, dude. I mean, they don't build him like
you got to ride that out while you can. But no, like the Dolphins, I want to make it very clear here that just because running back is a need does not mean that they're not deep at running back. They needed a starter at running back. They don't necessarily need depth. So we don't need to see, if I'm the Dolphins, we don't need to see Chase Edmonds carry the ball, touch the ball 400 some odd times. He could touch it 15-ish times a game, and then you can, delegate from there. There's still Myles Gaskin on staff. There's still Savon Ahmed was tendered. You could still, I wouldn't want to get rid of Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson running between.
I agree.
I think he was a better battering ram type back than Malcolm Brown was last year. Malcolm Brown, I felt like when he was healthy, and this is something that I even noticed in the preseason before the announcement was made that I was moving from Buffalo to Miami. I was watching them in the preseason. Malcolm Brown feels like, he's Reggie Bush up here, and then, Lendale White from the head down. He's a bruising running back that.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now because I can do this because I'm fat. It's Lendale White.
Hey, look, man. I love me some Lendale White. I'll never disrespect him.
He ate his way out of the league. Okay, that was one guy.
Lendale White. Look, I grew up a USC fan. That was my favorite college football. To what people out here, like y'all look at those Canes teams and what the 01, I think it was. 2001 Canes. Yeah. That's how I look at the 2005 USC team. So like that's my. I would.
Oh, he froze. He froze. He is frozen in time. All right, there we go. You were gushing
weird.
over. You were gushing over Len Whale White. What were you saying?
You see what happens when the thought of even disrespecting that team comes up, the internet says,
no. It froze because you were actually trying to compliment Len Whale White. That's not, see, notice how it's not freezing while I'm ripping Len Whale, but it froze while you tried to, because, you know, the football gods were like, slow down, young man. We know you're a fan, but fan is for fanatical. Don't get too fanatical.
I don't get a lot of opportunities. I don't get a lot of opportunities to be a fan anymore, man. Like, that's I'm not complaining. I have a wonderful job, but like, because of the job, I don't look at the game in the same way anymore. So like, I'm gonna take my opportunities to appreciate my folks.
Was there any truth that Len Whale would go in between Randy's Donuts and what's the name of the Roscoe's, right down the block? It's just a couple blocks away. It's just right there. Randy's and Roscoe's, Randy Roscoe's, right there, man.
Hey, look,
you'll eat your way out of any. Okay.
He was still a 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL. So, you know, I think that's one of the last 1,000 seasons that we've seen. Like, as far as I'd have to check my math here, but I'm fairly certain he and Chris Johnson split
I don't know if Lendale White or Len Whale was really a 1,000-yard back.
I think he had 1 year. I think he had 1 year.
Oh, he did. He did 244 the first year, 1110 the second year, 773, and then 222. So yeah, he got 1 year where he got 1110 and 7 touchdowns on 3.7 yards per carry, but that is a lot of weight to carry. So it's not really, I gotta commend him to get 3.7 yards on that weight. So that's pretty good.
Those are real workhorse numbers, man. Like 3.7 yards and you're still at 1,100. Yeah, man, like that's a lot of carries. But either way, we get off track here. The point is, you know, Malcolm Brown
we could definitely use him to plow some. We could definitely use him to plow some fields. Yeah, he'd be good for that. No doubt about it. He can definitely. But all right. So, by the way, Joe Shad disrespected the Ogba signing by giving the Dolphins a B. Are you not giving the Dolphins an A for the re-signing of Ogba?
Oh man.
Pressure is on you.
That's tough, you know, because I like the signing. Like you had to sign him, and because of that, I think that stretches the ceiling of the dollar amount that you're comfortable shelling out for him. Is Emmanuel Ogba a top 10 defensive end in the NFL right now? Is he a top 10 pass rusher right now?
Pretty close because of the batted passes.
Pretty close. It's, you know, the sack numbers might not be there, but sacks are misleading.
Not a top 10 sack artist, but he has a lot of pressures and he has a lot of batted passes. So I would tell you that he is top 20 for sure, and somewhere in that 11 to 15, 16 range probably.
That's what in my write-up I'm saying he's, you know, you can make the argument whether or not he is a top 10 defensive end, but that is what he is being paid like. $16 million a year puts him right around, from an AAV, from an average annual value standpoint, puts him right around 8-ish, you know, right around the Trey Hendrickson money. And, you know, the guys above him on that list are bona fide sack artists. So, you know, while 9 is nothing to scoff at, 9 is a good figure, man. If you get 9 sacks a year for your career, you did very, very well for yourself.
How many more batted passes does he have over all those other guys? Because I think
a lot. He's disruptive dropbacks. He's the best defensive end in the league over the past 2 years. So you're not necessarily paying for sacks. You are paying for just production at the line of scrimmage. And so in terms of production at the line of scrimmage, in terms of team need, in terms of the team's financial situation, then yeah, I'm right around that B+, A- standpoint. Just because, you know, in a vacuum, $16 million to him might be a little bit high, but you know, with context,
it's free agency, bro. You got to overpay free agency.
Not to mention, man, the salary cap is rising. Like it's not going to matter this. You know, these are going to look like bargains at the, you know, but this time next year we're going to
see, that's the smart
even more money to spend.
But that's a smart thing you just said, dude. 16 may sound like a lot. It's really not a crazy number for that player and the production. And 2 years from now, you're right. It'll be a joke. It'll be a joke.
So like I would say, yeah, give me that A minus, B plus, A minus feel, grade to it. I'm not, jumping out the gym, but I do think that, they're back to these back-to-back signings. Their powers combined, that's an A for me. I don't love to grade, I don't love to grade signings before we see what they yield. Just like I don't love to grade draft picks before we see what the player is like.
Right. Yeah.
But based on fit and need, these are home runs back to back, man. Chris Greer off to a hell of a start. Let's see what else they can do. Really want to keep an eye on that Davante Adams situation, man. He's not playing on the tag. The Packers are shedding a ton of salary right now. They got rid of Zadarius Smith. They get rid of Bobby Turner. Like, they are doing what they can to make room for him. I think Aaron Rodgers, shaving a little off the top is probably going to be enough to get Davante. But if they're truly not in a good place right now from a negotiating standpoint, look, man, you could have a lot worse weapons around Tua than Jalen Waddle, Davante Adams, Chase Edmonds, and Mike Gesicki. That's a new look offense. I
like DJ Chark, bro. I know what Adams is, but like, Adams is still up there. Chark is still young, and I think he would be one, and he'll cost you a lot less. And I think you can really develop a really nice player in Chark. I like him opposite of, I would sign him. And if I could get Jamison Crowder, I would put him in the slot and move Waddle outside.
I'm also going to throw another name out that, people might roll their eyes a little bit, but it depends on what he's asking for. Beasley is still available. Beasley is still highly effective when he's involved in the game plan. Yeah. This was still back-to-back years of, I think, 800-900 yards for the Bills. He is not a flashy, sexy name. He comes with the, you're going to have to deal with his thoughts and opinions, but, that is everybody's prerogative in America.
That's all right. He goes with the governor. He goes with the governor perfectly. It's perfect for the governor. Good.
But he is a guy who, when the run game's not working, he can now take over that little Jalen Waddle role, the little BS 4 yards from the line of scrimmage target, so that you can let Jalen actually do something with his time out on the field. So, anybody in that, like I said, the Beasley, Crowder, Berrios type mold, yeah, go ahead. I like Chark. Chark is hurt a lot, though, and, it's one of those situations where the production wasn't always there. He had the one big year a few years ago. But also, you look at the quarterback situations in Jacksonville and say, all right, like, how much give are we willing to? How much are we willing to give? I don't know. I like Christian Kirk, depending on the price. I'm not a big into Allen Robinson.
No. 2 years ago, yes.
Actually, I don't think Allen Robinson is a fit at all down here. But if you're going to spend big money, especially because he's going to cost, and if you're going to spend big money on a receiver, go spend big money on a receiver. Like, if you're going to spend that kind of coin, then, bump the offer up a little bit, swallow your pride.
But that's what I like about DJ. This is what I like about DJ. You don't have to break the bank. He can't ask for the bank yet because he never got to that point because of the system and the quarterbacks that he had to play with. So because he can't ask for the bank, I think you might get more of a bargain in the long run with DJ Chark. That's what I like about that signing. That's just me.
Yeah. And then, but not to mention, and then they still have to, but before you even think about Davante Adams, you need to make some signings on that offensive line. Brady coming back, obviously you knew that they were getting either Jensen or Kappa. Kappa obviously just signed with the Bengals, so those options are off the table. Teron Armstead is still an option. It doesn't matter. You need to find a starting right tackle, and if there's a good enough guard on the market, then go right ahead. A name that, and it's a Buffalo tie, and I know we get a lot of them when I do these segments, but Darrell Williams from Buffalo just was released. I want to be very clear. I want to make sure that people are clear here. He was not released because he is a bad player. He was released because they were paying him as a right tackle and had to move him to right guard. He is not a good guard. He's not a guard. The Carolina experience, like Carolina found that out. That's why he left there. But he was a second team All-Pro before tearing his ACL in Carolina at right tackle. He was excellent in 2020. But they drafted Spencer Brown. He's cheaper than Williams, and for that reason, Williams had to go. He is a good option and a cost-effective option at right tackle if need be. So I think that there are some quote unquote bargain bin players to choose from, but I think Williams specifically might scare some people off because of the fact that he was released by the Bills 1 year after signing a 3-year contract extension. But there's a little bit of nuance, there's a little bit of context to that I don't think people are understanding. So if the Dolphins don't want to break the bank for a guy like Armstead, I think Williams is going to be cost effective. You can get him on a 1-2 year deal, see how it goes, put a kind of a Band-Aid on it in the meantime. But there are options. There are options at tackle. They need to address the line though before they do anything else. In terms of their playmakers, I don't think drafting a lineman is the move. Not in this class, not with this regime, not at the stage that this team is in, where they're at this crossroads between, are we rebuilding and are we contending? When you're a game or so out of the playoffs, that's kind of like the road that you need to face. I think they clearly want themselves to be a playoff contender, not Super Bowl contender. They need to be a playoff contender. So in order to do that, I think that you draft for depth, not necessarily for immediate need at positions like defensive end and positions like offensive line. Those are ones that you need a vet in there. You need a guy that's, right out the gate, he's ready to come play.
I agree. You have to, for me, I think they have to add 2 veteran linemen to this group. They have to. The line is way too young and needs proven leadership on it. You know what I mean? I'm hoping personally Ben Jones is one of those guys, the center for the Titans. That's who, since I can't get Ryan Jensen now, who I wanted, then Ben Jones would be the next guy, because that's what I think. I think Tua needs. Obviously, it'd be great to get a tackle, and especially a left tackle, because I think you can put Eichenberg at right tackle and you'll be fine, and eventually they'll figure it out. But I'd like Ben Jones at center, because I think you need to add immediate veterans to this line to improve the young guys. Yeah,
I agree. But I think that where they're at right now, where they're now that bringing Ogba back was massive. And I think actually the reason why, if I'm on the cusp between a B and an A, I would lean A, is because of what they faced if they lost him. Then you're stepping back. Now you have to replace that. Now you have to go get somebody in the draft, or you have to go, try to maybe sign 2 players where one would have done the trick, or you have to find a way to replace that production. And their ability to do that is I think solidifies the A. But now that he's signed, they got a good playmaker in Edmonds who can probably line up in the slot if he needs to, lines up in the backfield, catches passes, runs. He can do a little bit of everything. It really put them in a position to go BPA with nearly every pick, man. I don't think there's like a gun to your head position that they have to take at 29, that they have to take in the second round. I think you have a number of moves that you can make. You have another number of positions that you can address. Linebacker, obviously they need depth there. They still need receiver help. So, good receiver at 29. Tre'Leon Burks for some reason is available. If Jameson Williams is available, you sprint to the podium. But like you could take BPA. And I just said on Twitter, I love Chase Edmonds, man. If Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall is available on day 2, it's not stopping me from taking either one. I'm not, especially Hall, because like I love the fact that Walker might be able to catch passes, might be able to run block or to pass block, but we know that Breece Hall is effective as a receiver. So when he's on the field, defenses, you still don't necessarily know what they're going to do. They could run the same kind of plays, they could run the same kind of schemes as they would if Chase Edmonds was on the field. It adds to that kind of versatility, man. You don't want defense to be able to just key on you and know, okay, blah, blah, blah is in the game. They're either run between the tackles or he's pass blocking. He's not much of a threat anywhere else. So, it's not stopping me from going running back on day 2, but I just love that they have the ability to go BPA, whatever pick whatever pick we're at.
Well, so that will be how they get the edge in your eyes, right? Is that what you're saying?
that will be how they get the edge. They already set the edge with Emmanuel Ogbah.
Mm-hmm.
They got a running back who can get to the edge in Chase Edmonds.
Mm-hmm.
And, they can now just go BPA to give them an edge over whoever their opponents are moving forward. No, look, I am impressed as I could be by these first two moves. So I just wanted to be clear that, the Edmonds signing is just like, wow, that is a big get. That is a big get.
Yeah, as a fantasy player, I've always liked that kid the last couple of years, and he's kind of always been an under the radar guy. A lot of people don't know, and I think Miami Dolphin fans are going to get a feel for this kid, and they're going to see he's going to give them a little bit of an edge there, back there, because he can pass catch, he can run the ball, he can block too. By the way, he's really a complete back. Actually, that's what I like about Chase, that he gives you that edge, that he's a complete back.
Yeah, 5'9", only 5'9", but solid 200, 205, I believe. Like, it's not a small guy, man.
No.
Like, he can. What I'm most excited about in terms, if I'm a Dolphins fan, what I'm most excited about for Edmonds is the fact that, like, maybe he hasn't been the feature guy, but he has so much tread on his tires, man. Like, he is only 300 carries in 4 years. He's still only 25. Like, there's running backs coming out of college that are only like a year or so younger than him. Like, it's not like he's, he's a vet without the vet age, without the vet wear on his body. So I think they're going to get. I'm excited to see what this offense can do with him. I'm excited to see how they scheme for him. I don't want to start talking, saying this is their Deebo Samuel, because these are not the same caliber of players. But I am curious if they use him in the same way, and that they use him as a pass catcher. They line him up at receiver and they line him up at running back as well. Because I don't know if, he's bigger than he might have the same kind of like skill set, give or take, as far as like a pass catching back as Myles Gaskin does, but he's bigger and a better runner. So he's like a more effective. He's what you want Gaskin to be, and he's bigger than Jalen Waddle, who everybody pegged for the Deebo Samuel role. You're not lining up 170-pound Jalen Waddle in the backfield, man. No, you're gonna get the boy killed. So no, this gives him more of that kind of diverse. This gives them more of that, versatile chess piece type of player than anybody else they have currently on roster.
Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Catch his work there at ESPN. You can catch him here twice a week, giving you the edge as a Dolphin fans with the information. He is Marcel Louis-Jacques. Marcel, we will catch you later in the week, my friend. Thank you.
For sure. I'm diving back into my phone, man. I'll catch y'all later.
Work it, baby. Marcel Louis-Jacques, you now have the edge.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.